Okay, hello guys. This is the Douglas DC10 30. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Douglas DC10 is a free-engined, wide-bodied airliner, consequently known as a tri-jet because of its free-engine configuration. Two on the wings and one in a central cowling on the tail. I'll just show you that now. So the engine, this is just like the cowling pretty much. So the engine literally goes from where I'm pointing here, so the nose cone and the aerodynamic fin, to just there at the rear base of the rudder. Okay, and you've got one engine there and then one on the other side. Now the main difference between the DC10 30 and the DC10 10 and 40, for example, are the times, or number of hours the aircraft could fly, which is all to do with fuel, weight, range and payload. And so the earlier model 10s, DC10 10s, they were basically just about capable of doing a transcontinental flight from, say, New York to I don't know, San Francisco. And sorry, that's my just got to unpause this. Yeah, it's San Francisco. Just reaching my altitude there. So New York, San Francisco, or New York to London. Now, while the DC10 30, a lot of them were used in the same manner, what it enabled the airlines to do was carry more fuel, more payload, whether that's passenger or whether that's cargo. I mean, the US Air Force, or USAF, they absolutely loved the DC10 so much, they commissioned Douglas, not Boeing, I do apologise, to start development on a tanker variant. So that's air-to-air refueling, known as the KC10, because in the military, K is for tanker and the T designation means transport. But that's for another video. Anyway, so various airlines, British Airways, Monarch, FedEx, Lufthansa, Air France, KLM, American Airlines, they, amongst numerous others, too many for me to mention, all use the DC10, and some of them even went on to its successor aircraft, the McDonnell Douglas MD-11. But again, more about the merger of the two companies in another video. So the DC10 30 range-wise, getting back to that, it could quite comfortably do San Francisco to London, for example, or it could do the short 7-hour flight from New York to Heathrow and vice versa. I know there were some airlines like Singapore Airlines, they used it for half-hour domestic flights, obviously within their borders, and that's simply due to the amount of people flying there, the payload. So Singapore Airlines rarely topped up the tanks to over 50% on their DC10 30s, as they just basically, wide body, you can squeeze more people in it to put more bums on the seats. And the DC10 40 was mainly developed for the Japanese airlines and those other airlines in Asia. And again, in Japan, as you know, small country like us in the UK, small but powerful, and they basically used it for again, domestic flights of 1 hour or under, and they could fit 500-600 people in these things compared to the standard configuration of just over 300. Now there's a successor aircraft built by the company when it merged with McDonnell and became McDonnell Douglas, and that was the MD-11. So basically all they did was, aside from a hell of a lot of modifications in the fuel systems, range, payload, the main thing that passengers might notice when you were boarding one back in the day, if the cockpit door was open, you'd have these analog instruments here, but all this would be on one screen. Well, not one screen. So this is the flight instrument T, and it's called a flight instrument T because you've got airspeed, artificial horizon, and your altimeter, and then you've got your heading indicator and course indicator, and of course the TCAS. So take the TCAS out of the equation for a minute. You've got the line going across there and line going down there, so hence the name flight instrument T. So they're displayed in exactly the same way as they are here, but just on one big screen. And the TCAS is so these are on one screen, and then the TCAS and navigation and radio altimeter, which is this thing here, but I'll explain that later in another video, all basically on one screen, and they do the same job, just modernized. Engine instruments, again, they're all on one screen, and the same on the other side. Autopilot, same basic function, just more automation. Overhead panel, didn't really change that much for the lower panel. The upper panel though, I'll show you when I do an MD-11 video. Yeah, these are the fire handles, so 1, 2 and 3. Engines, if there's a fire, you basically pull and yank down, and that cuts the fuel off, activates a fire bottle, but the downside is you can't restart your engine because that engine is virtually destroyed. Okay, the flight engineer's position. Now, what I was saying earlier about modernising aircraft, this isn't in the MD-11 because it's all on those computer screens I mentioned. So to end this video, guys, I shall switch to the outside so you can see the beautiful bird in all her glory. Okay, I'll just zoom out, so there we go, and I'm on my way from Manchester to Ibiza. Speed is 320 at 31,000 feet. Okay, thanks very much, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again next time. And remember, subscribe. Bye bye.